Hello again, everybody. And we're all ready for Bad Dad. And this particular section is called barf. Strange word, but we'll try and find out what it means. And if you remember, there's that strange roar from outside, and it was Queenie. Now, Dad had named his supercharged mini Queenie because she was more like a person than a machine. Queenie was an old lady, having come off the production line more than 50 years ago, and Gilbert would have to coax the car to do what he wanted. The man would talk to her. He would say, "Come on, Queenie, wake up," when he was starting the engine. Or if she was low on oil, he would say, "Queenie, my love, let me buy you a drink." When he was about to give her a wash, he would say, "Time for your bed bath, old goat." Dad loved the car, like she was a member of the family. Indeed, when Dad came into the hospital after losing his leg, he was more worried that the car was in bits than he was. After the crash, Queenie really was in bits. Lots of bits, mangled bits. Dad might have got a few much-needed pounds for her as scrap metal, but he loved the old girl far too much for that. So, what was left of Queenie rusted away in a distant garage on the industrial estate. Frank loved Queenie too, nearly as much as his father did. The car had a feel, a smell, and a sound all her own. It was a sound the boy thought he would never hear again. However, as he stood inside Raj's shop, still choosing how best to spend his 7 pence, outside on the road was that sound again. Roar! "Queenie!" said the boy, looking round to try to catch sight of her. "Her Majesty is here in our little town?" asked Raj. "She must have heard all about my special offer on space dust." "No, Queenie is the name of Dad's old racing car." "Yes, of course. That sounded just like her." "I know." Ding! The boy raced out of the shop into the street. Speeding down the road was indeed a Mini. It was travelling too fast for Frank to see who was driving. It certainly sounded like Queenie, but it couldn't be her, because the colour was different. Queenie was emblazoned with a Union flag that he could spot a mile off. However, instead of being painted red, white and blue, this Mini was a lurid shade of yellow. Dad wouldn't have been seen dead in a car that was the colour of barf. Raj rushed out of his shop. "Was it her?" "No, couldn't have been. It was the wrong colour. Besides, Queenie is rusting in some garage somewhere." "That was one special car. I loved her. We all did." The newsagent rested a hand on the boy's shoulder. "Don't be sad. Look at the bright side." "What's that?" "Well, you still have a whole 4 pence to spend in my shop." Well, 20 minutes later, Frank still had 1 mighty p to spend. Buying sweets was such a rare treat that he wanted to make it last. What do I go for, Raj? A pink shrimp? They were caught fresh yesterday. Or a flying saucer? Oh, they do taste out of this world. Ding! "Dad!" exclaimed Frank as his father walked into the shop. "You all done, mate?" "Not quite." "There's still 1 whole pence left to spend." Dad stalked over to the penny chews. He picked up the nearest one, a cola bottle, and dropped it into his son's bag. "I don't like those ones." "Don't argue, please. We have to go." "Thanks, Raj." You know, Mr. Goody, we could have sworn we heard Queenie roar down this very street." Dad looked uncomfortable. "Really?" "Well, you're wrong." It was a short walk from Raj's shop back to their flat, and as soon as the front door was closed, Dad seemed in a mighty rush to get his son to bed. He opened the last tin of beans and stood over Frank as he ate it. Then it was time for the boy's bath, which was a dunk in an oil drum full of water that was dirtier than the boy was. He came out a shade of grey. Frank used a stained old tea towel to dry himself off. The best part of bedtime was always story time. They never had books in the house, so Dad would make up stories for his son instead. As the man loved cars, the stories always involved the roar of engines, the smell of burning tyres, and speedometers ticking over into red for danger. Oh, I'm sorry, mate. Not tonight. No, there's no story. It's way past your bedtime anyway. It's still early, Dad. You're tired. I'm wide awake. You're too old for stories. I'm only 11. You're nearly 12. Still 11, though. Come on, Dad. In the time you spent arguing with me, you could have told me a story. Once upon a time, there was a bang-out racing car called Basher. Basher bashed all the other cars off the track and was the last car standing in the end. Is that it? What do you mean, is that it? I mean, that's not a story. Yes, it is. No, it's not. Well, why isn't it a story? It's too short. Once upon a time, the end. It's not a story. It was rubbish. Dad did not look pleased to be spoken to like this. Right, straight to bed. No, yes, come on. Dad put his hands on the boy's shoulders and steered him like a car into his bedroom. Put your pyjamas on and get into bed. I mean, lie low. You know what I mean? Now, I need you to be a good boy and go straight to sleep. Frank looked over to the curtains. They weren't exactly curtains, more bits of cardboard that had been stuck to the window. Around the edges, light was shining through, and it was much too early. What's the time, Dad? I don't know. It seemed very strange to Frank, as his father had been checking his watch all night. Well, look at your watch then, Dad. Oh, yeah. He studied the face for a moment. The time is bedtime. That's not fair. Flip will be here any minute. I need you to go to sleep. Why is she coming? I just need to pop out. Where? I'm going to watch the banger racing tonight. Can I come? No. Goes on too late. Please, mate, I'm begging you. Just go to sleep. That'll be Auntie Flip. If you don't want her to read one of her poems, I suggest you go straight to sleep. Now, give us a naggle. Dad kneeled down on his one knee and the pair embraced. Dad? Yeah? I'm frightened. What are you frightened of? I don't know. Something doesn't feel right. Come in! Everything will be all right in the morning, mate. The man gave his son a tender kiss on the forehead. Trust me. With that, he rose to his foot and closed the door behind him. But Frank didn't trust his dad tonight, not one bit. The boy still lay on his deflated lilo, listening to Dad and Auntie Flip talking in the living room. And after a few minutes, Frank's bedroom door opened a little and Dad peered in. The boy shut his eyes tight and pretended to be asleep. I'm sorry, mate, whispered Dad, but I've no choice. I have to do this for both of us. Frank opened one eye, the tiniest bit. He saw his dad framed in the doorway. It was something Frank thought he'd never see again. His dad had his old racing gear on. Well, there we are. Now we'll leave it there for this time and we'll try and find out next time where Dad's going. Sounds a bit suspicious to me. Well, anyway, I hope you enjoyed that and I hope to see you all again very soon. And please take care. Bye-bye for now.